Good afternoon. We're going to start with the broadcast section and Brian from Sky Sports News.
Afternoon, Frank. Just kick off with the injury latest, please. What can you tell us about Andreas, N'Golo, Tammy, Callum and Ruben's recoveries?
Where do I start? N'Golo is not fit. It's a muscle injury, similar to the one he came off recently against Arsenal with. Should be probably, hopefully, 3 weeks, something around that. Christian Pugh, giving the exact date of difficult injury. We're working with that. Ruben is in the squad, not fit to start. Is in the squad, not fit to start, but great to have him in the squad. Obviously hasn't kicked a ball this season. Andreas went to get a mask for a broken nose that he's now got and has trained with, so available for selection, albeit with a mask. Go on, remind me. Tammy Abraham has trained the last 2 days at probably about 70% and hasn't trained much recently, so he's in the squad again, but I have to make a decision on whether he's fit.
How's Andreas in particular, given the fitting?
Good, actually. Trained 2 days at a pretty good level where there's contacts and heading to do, and you know, you have to be guided by him a little bit how he is with it. He's been playing so well. Andreas is in great form, and we'll have to see. I'll speak with him again later on just to make sure that he's ready, because this is going to be, as all games are, a battle, and as a centre back you need to be confident that you can take contact.
You've got injury concerns, so do Tottenham. Is this a good time to be playing them?
No, I don't think so. I think with Tottenham, they're on a good run of form, and clearly an incredible player like Harry Kane is a miss, and now Son is a miss. But I think with Harry Kane, it always amazed me the stats when Pochettino was manager. Harry Kane was injured a few times, and they remained false because they had players that could fill in. And when you're talking about players like Dele Alli, whose game is to arrive from slightly behind and break lines consistently. Lucas Moura similarly has qualities. Bergwijn has come in and has those similar qualities, and I've watched a lot of them recently, and they're a threat. And this is a London derby against Tottenham. I think whatever team they put out, it will always be a threat in this type of game.
What reaction are you expecting from Chelsea fans to Jose's return to Stamford Bridge as Tottenham manager?
I don't know. I think coming here as a Tottenham manager is clear. He's wanting his team to win. He says that clearly. I want my team to win. And Chelsea fans, first and foremost, will back us and back our team. And I don't know how they'll be with him.
Have you got a message to the supporters ahead of this one?
From our point of view? Well, yeah. I mean, I think whenever I speak to fans, and it's obviously this season is a transitional year, and we can't please everybody. We always want to, but what I think I'm getting from fans is that they recognise in the way the team's trying to play, and some of the youth in the team, and some of the problems. I know a lot of talk about injuries in the last few days. I'm not sure many teams in the Premier League have had our injuries. 5 huge ones at the start of the season, big ones now in season. N'Golo Kante's played 50% of the games when he's been basically a regular starter for the last 4 years in the Premier League. Ruben, as I say, hasn't kicked a ball yet. We've got a lot, so I think the fans respect that, and they see what we're trying to do. But we want to win games, so you know they will be there to support us. This is a huge game. I think it's not a bad timing of a game of its type for us. We need to stand up, we need to fight. Tottenham are 1 point behind us, teams are close behind us, and we need the fans with us, and the players will give everything tomorrow. I can say that now. I know they'll go out with the right intentions to give everything. It's going to be difficult to get a result, but they'll give everything.
Are you feeling the pressure?
I always feel it, because this is top sport, and if we were in Liverpool's position, I'd still feel the pressure, because any manager worth their salts, any player worth their salts should want to do the next thing, not rely on last week. It's always about what you do next. So I thrived on it as a player, I thrived on it as a manager. I've enjoyed this week. I've enjoyed it. We lost against Manchester United. I hated the fact that we lost against Manchester United. It was a difficult night's sleep after that. But waking up the next day, I thought this is a great challenge for us. It's not that we are playing where we're struggling to find ways to create chances. Of course we're conceding when we don't want to, and a lot of those are individual mistakes, but there's a lot of stuff that I can see there that is a work in progress, and I knew that at the start of the season. I knew that everyone was probably writing us off for top 4. When we played well, I was the one trying to temper it and say we've still got a long way to go when we won 7 on the trot, and I feel no differently now. It's a process, and that pressure's always there.
Finally from me, what does Kepa need to do to get back in the starting lineup? And are you on a collision course with the board by not starting?
Certainly not. I think that fills a lot of headlines for people and articles, and certainly not. I'm absolutely together with all of the club and the board, because we all want the best, and I am paid to make decisions. And it's been a decision recently where, as I've mentioned before, with form I have to consider the goalkeeping position as I do all positions, and recently it's just changed. It's nothing final. The keepers union have to stick together, and Kepa's been great in his support of Willie in this moment, and all he needs to do is train and show great attitude as I sort of demand off all the players, and things can obviously change, but all I want is the best for the team, so it's not worth hanging too much on one individual position.
Okay, James and then Brian.
Frank, has Kepa got to wait for Willie to make a mistake to come back into the team?
That's a great way of looking at it, isn't it? I mean, I can't look at it that way. I have to pick a future and say what may be.
How's Mitchie been this week? Because it was quite a difficult outing for him on Monday.
Yeah, difficult because he had a couple of chances, and strikers will always be judged on goals. You know, that's the nature of the beast. And we know at home we've created a lot of chances in so many games and haven't finished them. That's not just Mitchie, that's the team issue. But what you do have to do is be strong and be tough. And you know, if you're going to play for Chelsea, and if you're going to strive to be the number 9 or the striker or the midfield player or first choice in any position, you're going to have to take what comes with it sometimes, and that's for all of us. That's not just Mitchie.
Are you expecting Jose to have a trick up his sleeve this weekend? Considering he's got no attacking players, he might have to do something slightly unusual to get a result.
Yeah, I mean, he has got attacking players. Let's get it right. You know, as I said before, Dele Alli for me in his best season at Tottenham was playing up and alongside Harry Kane pretty much. Lucas Moura scored a hat-trick in the Champions League semi-final last year, and there's an incredible talent on the ball. There are attacking players. Will Jose Mourinho set his team up smartly? Yes, because he's a fantastic manager. They certainly have attacking players that can give us problems.
Has your relationship changed with him now you're both in full-time management, in charge of rival clubs?
No, because our relationship after working together, I was a player and he the manager, obviously, it changes. You know, once that changes and I moved on, it changes, and it's not changed in any way. I wished him well when he got the job. He wished me well when I got this job. So no, we're very amicable and respectful, I think, of each other. Of course, we want our teams to win.
Just finally from me, you mentioned at the top there that it's a transitional season, but considering all the factors, considering the position Chelsea have been in earlier on this season, would it be a failure now if you didn't make the top 4?
Well, that's for everyone to judge. Everyone has their own opinions. From my point of view, I work game to game to see where we can get to, and as I say, I think a lot of eyes were drawn to the transfer ban, rightly so. A lot of eyes were drawn to the youth in our team, I get that. But what I mentioned there about the injury situation has been a big issue as well for us this season. Major players for us. So there are a lot of variables. What we do know is we're in 4th position now. We have a lot of games to go with it in our hands to try and finish the job and come in the top 4. It's going to be tough. Everyone's fighting for the same thing. Everyone's fighting. All those teams around us have recruited well, are strong squads of great managers. So no, you're not going to get given anything. We have to try and earn it over the next few months.
For sure.
Hi Frank. You mentioned that you've enjoyed this week. What's the reaction been like from the players in training?
Good, very good. A day off on Tuesday for them, which was needed. Again, the frustration of the players afterwards is that they didn't win a game against Manchester United when we played a lot of good stuff. Now, we're not naive. We know that we can't concede goals from set pieces where we lose our man. We know that we can't have moments of sloppiness which has dropped us points this season. And we know that we need to finish off more chances. But at the same time, we just need to keep working. Whenever there's a difficult time in the season, and everyone will have them, and let's get it right, other than Liverpool this season, a lot of clubs, pretty much everyone, will have had difficult moments, like we're going through in the last 4 or 5 games. It's when you have to show what you're made of, and the players have looked in good mood, in good form this season. They need to show it tomorrow.
I know you had a question about what Kepa needs to do to get back into the starting lineup. What does Olivier need to do to be in that starting lineup?
I'll give you the same answer. I can repeat what I said before. He needs to work hard in training, which he's done. I think with Ollie, he had a very difficult December, because we all know, I was asked here every few days, that he may leave, and that's a difficult position for a player to be in. And when I've spoken to him just before the break, he said himself he needed a few weeks to get properly fit. It had been a difficult time. That's why he wasn't really available to start against Manchester United. But the way he's worked this week, he's available to start. He needs to keep doing what he's doing.
And in terms of Antonio Rudiger, this is the first time he's facing Tottenham since the complaint. Is that something you've spoken to him about this week?
No, I haven't. He's had a baby boy yesterday. which is the most important thing, and the beautiful things in life, obviously, and all is well on that front. And we just hope that nothing occurs in a similar vein, or alleged, or whatever. But tomorrow, as in all games, it's a fiercely contested rivalry and should be in the right way.
And of course, you do have a young squad at your disposal. Are you hoping that they're going to be able to face the challenge of this really tight top 4 race rather than wilt under the pressure in the coming weeks?
Yeah, I certainly am hopeful of it, and that is a good test for them all, because the younger players have been thrown into the Premier League. They've deserved their chances this year on performance, but yeah, as the season goes on and moments get tough, that's when you really find out not what they're made of, because they're developing as players and people, but they have to rise to that challenge, because if you're going to play for Chelsea, this is part of the course. Every year's a challenge of whatever sort.
Okay, last two, and then we're going to finish. Carrie and then Jerry to finish.
Frank, have you given much thought of walking out pitch side with Jose Mourinho alongside you in the dugouts at Stamford Bridge and the atmosphere in the moment?
No, not really. I mean, I've been up against him now twice as a manager, and I've got huge respect for him, and I've actually just been caught up in the idea of how do we win this game against a manager, as I said before, who's a hugely talented manager, whose trophies and medals speak for themselves. So I've got respect for him, but I'm not considering so much the personal individual battle between me and him. I'm just trying to get my team out there to win the game.
Tammy Abraham, you say 70%. How hard is it going to be keeping him back from being in the starting lineup for players obviously itching to get back?
Yeah, I mean, hard, but he's going to want to play, but he has to also understand that he needs to be fit and firing. We've had a period with Hammy where was injured, came into the team, got fit again, then missed a game again. So these things can't go on forever. We need to make sure, and there's competition in that area, as we we're just saying. Olivier now is fit, Mishy's there, so there's just choices for me to make, and I'll always, unfortunately, be upsetting a few players in the squad, but we have to see the big picture, and I have to try and find that. So that's just part of the job, I suppose.
Dele Alli has had some statement of performances at Stamford Bridge when he seems subbed off and furious at being subbed off in a Champions League match. Are you concerned at how much a point he'll want to make at Stamford Bridge?
Of course, he's a top player. He's a top player, and it's not my player, so I don't have to be concerned about his reaction to coming off. But he saved him 20 minutes or so, keeps his legs fresh for tomorrow morning.
Okay, last question, Jerry, at the back.
Frank, big part of your success at Spurs before Christmas was springing that surprise with 3 at the back. Is that part of management now that you've got to try and outfox what the opposition manager expects? And was that one of the most pleasing aspects for you?
It was on the day. It was pleasing because we worked a lot on it in the week, and the pleasing thing is how the players implement it. That's 3 at the back I didn't invent it. Do you know what I mean? And the players then going to have to play it and play it well. But it is one of the things that you really enjoy about a manager, because this Premier League is the best in the world, and there are styles of all sorts. You come up against Burnley, it's a style. Come up against Brighton, it's a style. Come up against Tottenham, it's a certain style. So yeah, I think you always try and prepare. That's my job, to try and let the players know how we want to approach games. It can be small tweaks, it can be bigger ones like we did against Tottenham. But every game is different. Yeah, that's the job.
Any surprises tomorrow?
We'll see. It's a different game to what we took on when we went to Tottenham. At that time they were playing in a slightly different way. So when you watch them and the attributes of the players they have in those attacking areas, and it doesn't mean we can go, we'll play the same way as we did at Tottenham again, and that will just work. No, it might look slightly different.
Okay, thanks very much. Cameras off, please.